Hey guys, welcome to Magic in the Basement. Today we're continuing our Commander Homebrew series, and I'll be showing my deck that I did with the Tiger Shadow, the Yuriko Tiger Shadow. I like this card because it's unique, and the fact that it's a ninja is just awesome. Um, you know, I wish there were actually more ninjas. As I was trying to make this deck, I realized there's not that many ninjas actually out there. So I was thinking, okay, well, how do I make a good ninja deck and without a lot of ninjas, And so I was thinking like shapeshifters, to copy the ninjas that you got, but a bunch of the ninjas that are actually out there are legends, so that doesn't work either. So what I did was I kind of went and did a tribal with this because I actually want to do a tribal tournament coming up. So if that happens, I want to use this in the tournament. But so I went with ninjas. I mean humans, because she's a human ninja, and with that, I tried to go quick. I tried to keep a little bit of the flavor. Fast and blockable creatures, but I could only do so much. Now this deck, like I said, I wanted it to be tribal, so I have 33 humans in this deck because in the tournament we're going to have, for the tribal, you have to have 33 of whatever your commander is, the first typing, not both. So if it's a human, you got to have 33 humans. If it's a vampire, 33 vampires, etc. Now, this deck has 33 humans in it, but it also does have 3 non-humans in it as well, which is okay because as long as you have your 33 quota, you can have whatever else. The other 3 non-humans are, 2 of them are ninjas, and one is an assassin, which I kind of just like the flavor of it being an assassin and, this being like a ninja type deck. So that's what I tried to do with this. All right, now let's look at the commander itself. This is a unique commander because this is the first commander with commander ninjutsu. Like regular ninjutsu is if you have your ninja, a creature that's unblocked, you can pay mana and like switch it out with your ninja that and get it in there attacking. You know what I mean? Now this one is the same thing, only you can do this from your command zone. So if you have a creature that's unblocked, you could pay 2 mana and cast your commander, and it comes in tapped and attacking, which is really awesome because with that mechanic, it bypasses your commander tax. So Yuriko can die as many times as you need be, and as long as you got an unblocked creature going in, you can pay 2 mana and skip her commander tax. All right, but her second ability is really awesome. Her second ability says whenever a ninja you control deals combat damage to a player, reveal the top card of your library, put that card in your hand. Each opponent loses life equal to that card's converted mana cost. So this, I've done like some play testing, like, before I gone to a tournament, draws and stuff and that sort of thing. With this, on the average draw, I mean, you're getting anywhere between, unless it's a land, of course, because that does happen. You get about an extra, 3 and on average 3 to 5 average damage going through, which when it hits everybody is pretty powerful. Think about that. Like this deck has a couple of high-end like casting spells. One of them's 8 mana. So imagine if you got that 8 mana as your draw, that's 8 damage to everybody just off of the ability, and that's per ninja. So if you have her hitting with her damage, she counts herself. So that's one trigger. And then if you have one of the other ninjas hit at the same time or whatever, it's unblocked, that triggers as well. So you can do this multiple times in an attack phase. All right, so let's get to the deck and show you guys how I brewed this as a tribal human ninja type theme deck. with this commander. Okay, let's get to it. All right. Well, first off, I'll go over the instance because I only have 3 of them. We've got Brainstorm, classic Brainstorm. 1 mana, draw 3, put 2 from your hand onto your library in any order. I picked that one to manipulate the deck a little bit, the top card of my deck a tiny bit with Yuriko's ability. Because, like I said, if you got like one of those high-end spells in your hand, and you're going to get the attack trigger off with her, then you can just nuke somebody for the whole team for a good amount of damage. So that's why I got Brainstorm, and it also can dig for answers if need be. I got Memory Plunder. You can cast target instant or sorcery card from an opponent's graveyard without paying its mana cost. So pretty much a 4 mana, cast someone else's spell, which in the grand scheme of things is pretty good, because this being a dual color deck, that 4 mana is pretty easy to come by. It being blue 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 or black black black, or what I'm saying. In a 3 color deck or 4 color deck, I could see where that gets a little bit iffy. But in this deck, being 2 colors, and those are the 2 colors, it's really easy to cast. And this could be pretty clutch as an instant. Somebody, it could be something to wipe the board if you need to at the end of your turn. That way you're the first one to get to play a creature, with all your mana untapped. Or it could be a draw spell, or, something. It could be anything, any instant or sorcery that they cast. And since you got 3 opponents, it's got a good, range of what it could be. And then we've got Telling Time. Alright, this one's 2 mana. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 into your hand, 1 on top of your library, and 1 on the bottom. Again, this is kind of brainstormy-ish. You get to draw your card, and then you get to manipulate the top card of your deck a little bit for her ability. That's why I put that in there. Alright. Then we'll go to our 1 enchantment for this deck. Good old Phyrexian Arena, a little bit of card draw. At the beginning of your upkeep, you draw a card, lose a life. Now, this deck actually doesn't have that many card draw spells in it, because I'm counting Yuriko as a draw spell, because her being able to come out so quickly, and use her ability and you draw a card every attack phase. So you're like drawing at least 2 cards a turn when she's attacking. So that's why I don't have a whole lot of the draw spells in this deck, because of that reason. All right, let's go to artifacts. We've got the Mirror Signet, Mana Rock. We got good old Soul Ring, Mana Rock. We've got Cage Sun. Now, I put Cage Sun in there not really because of the mana, the acceleration, but more because of the +1/+1. So, like if I say black or blue, depending on what I got on the board at the time, I can pick. But it gives my creatures a boost. So, and in a tribal deck, the creatures aren't generally too big. So anything that can give all of them a boost is pretty good. All right. Then we got the Vanquisher's Banner. Again, a tribal card. You pick a type, in this case humans. They all get +1/+1. And whenever you cast that type of creature of that type, draw a card. This is another static draw spell. And it comes out on turn, can come out on turn 5 or whatever. So I'm not counting it as huge draw potential, but once it hits the field, it does a lot of work. All right. Then we've got Key to the City, another draw artifact, but I put this in here not for the draw part, because yes, you can use it for the draw ability, but I put it for the unblocked part. So when you can discard a card, up to 1 target creature can't be blocked this turn. So this is a great card for any creature to get Yuriko out. So if they have a ton of blockers, I don't care. I'm just going to discard a card, have my creature swing in, and boom, ninjutsu in my Yuriko, because it's already unblocked. because it has to be unlocked to get it the ninjutsu off. So it's not like they can declare a block at that point for her because she's already in and attacking. You know what I mean? So she's pretty much, getting in there. So that's why I put this in there. It's because of that reason. Also, like if she's out later on, you know what I mean? If she's already on the field and you do want to get her ability to go off, discard a card, and there you go. You might be losing a card into the graveyard, but you're drawing a card off of her ability. So that's why I think it's pretty good. Then we got the crystal ball for some scry power. Manipulate a little bit what's going on. Scry 2 is pretty good. And then we got Door of Destinies, another tribal type card. You choose a creature type. Whenever you cast a spell of chosen type, put a counter on it, and that type gets +1/+1 for each counter. So this can make your humans really big really quickly because most of the humans in here are pretty cheap. So you can play 2, 3, sometimes 4, 5 humans in a turn, depending on what your board status is. Alright, so they can buff them up pretty strong. Then we got Herald's Horn. Again, tribal. You choose a type. That chosen type costs 1 colorless less to cast. At the beginning, look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature of that type, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. So that's sort of draw. I mean, it's only draw if you got the creature, but in a deck with 33 humans in it, you're more often than not putting one of them in your hand every few turns. Alright, and then we've got good old Helmet of Host. I've put this in other decks. You equip it, and whatever you equip it copies during the combat step. I like this one because if you do equip your commander with it, if you do equip Yuriko, it'll make a copy that isn't legendary. So you can have Yuriko getting in, double Yurikos getting in there, sometimes, 2, 3 Yurikos at a time, each one triggering each other's ability. It's kind of crazy. Alright. Then we got another equipment, tribal again. It gets +1/+1 for each other creature you control that shares a type with it. So humans, it gets +1/+1 for each human on the field. And it actually says shares a type with it. So if you put it on Yuriko, it gets +1/+1 for each human and or ninja, because ninja is the subtype. So it would work with literally every card in this deck. We got good old Urza's Incubator. Choose a creature type. And you get 2 colorless off of its casting cost. Simple and, very effective. Then we got this equipment, which I love. Especially if you have the key out as well. Like if you have, where is it? If you got the Keys to the City out, and then you equip this guy on anything, what it does is 3 to cast and then 3 to equip. The creature has Death Touch, but that's not the important part. When it deals combat damage to a player, they lose half their life. So yeah, discard a card, make them unblockable, swing in for half their life. If they're still at 40 points, you're hitting them for 20 points of damage. That's a lot. So those are my artifacts that I got going on. Alright, let's go on to the sorceries. Most of the sorceries I have in here are board wipes because, like I said, in the tribal, they're small creatures, so they're kind of expendable in a way. But, if you're playing against someone who's not doing a tribal or a theme or whatever, they can have some pretty powerful stuff out there that you might get in trouble with and you need an out. So I have to put board wipes in there for it. Alright, this one actually, Kindred Dominance. God, I'm trying to get it to focus up. Anyway, you choose, it's 7 mana, which is great if you get it off of Yuriko's ability. But you choose a creature type, in this case humans, and then you destroy all creatures that aren't those type. So you can pretty much, with this deck being all humans except for 3 creatures, you can play it, say humans, and blow up everything other than your field. So that is pretty strong. And I'm still not getting it to, focus. Sorry about that. All right, let's go to the next one. Decree of Pain. I'm going to try to get this focused. Bear with me a second. Decree of Pain is 8 mana. Destroy all creatures. They can't be regenerated. Then you destroy draw a card for each creature destroyed this way, which is pretty powerful when you pay it for the 8. 8 is a lot of mana, but it's also got cycling for 5, so you can cycle it, and when you cycle it, all creatures get -2/-2. So it's a late game board wipe that draws you a lot of cards, or it's like something earlier mid game that is a variable. Like if they have a lot of tokens or something to swarm you, you can just do that and try to get keep your guys on board while theirs dies out. 1 second. Alright, sorry about that. We got it all focused up now. But yeah, this is a good board wipe because it's variable and it can draw a lot of cards at the same time. Alright, next we got Ponder. Good old Ponder. Look at the top 3, put them back in any order, draw a card. Classic. Then we've got Karn's Temporal Sundering. It's a legendary sorcery, so it can only be cast if you got a legendary creature or planeswalker, which isn't a big issue if you got your commander out. Target player takes next turn. After this one, return 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, and then exile this Temporal Sundering. Alright, and we got another legendary sorcery. This one is put 1 target creature. Karn's Temporal Sundering was 6 mana. This one is also, this one's 5 mana. This one's Yawgmoth's Vile Offering. Put 1 target creature or planeswalker a card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control, and then destroy target creature or planeswalker, and then exile it. So you get to blow 1 up, and then, actually steal 1 and then blow 1 up. Alright, and then we've got a Necromantic Selection. Alright. 7 mana, destroy all creatures, then return a card put into a graveyard this way onto the battlefield under your control. It's a black zombie in addition to its other types. Exiled Necromantic Selection. 7 mana. And I know these are pricey spells, but with Yuriko's ability, they're great because not only do you get to draw them, but you hurt somebody. Like, imagine if you drew this off Yuriko's. That's 7 damage to everybody. That's pretty good damage. Alright. Then we've got Living Death, 5 mana. Exile all creature cards from graveyards and then sacrifice all creatures they control and put all creatures exiled this way on the battlefield. Pretty much, you take you sacrifice what you got on the field, and then you put your graveyard. You put your graveyard onto the field board, and then sacrifice it. You're pretty much switching what you got in your graveyard for what you got on the board. So if somebody board wiped you, then you can play this. But it's each player, so you gotta be playing carefully, because if they got something really nasty and they died, you might not want to play it and get this back. This is a very situational card. 5 mana. Alright. Then we got Amanatu's Augury, 8 mana. Exile top 8 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them onto the battlefield. Until end of turn, for each non-land card type, you may cast a card from among them without paying its mana cost. And then you, that's it. Sorry, you exiled, the rest are exiled. So anyway, you get 8 mana, you get to get a mana on the field, because you're digging 8 deep, so you're probably going to get a mana out of it. And then you get to pick 1 creature, 1 artifact, 1 enchantment, and 1 planeswalker and put them onto the field as well. So, you do lose instants and sorceries, but, I mean, this being a tribal, like, creature-heavy deck, you're more likely to get something good out of that. Alright. Then we got Skull Swarm, 9 mana. When you copy it for each time you have casted your commander. So, with Yuriko being so cheap, this could, get up there and get a lot of value out of it. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. Each opponent who can't loses half their life rounded up. So, and then, like, say you cast your commander 2 or 3 times by the time you get this, because it is 9 mana. So, if they can't sacrifice 3 creatures, boom, they're losing half their life. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm reading that wrong. They sacrifice a creature, and if they can't, then they lose half their life. Then you copy the spell. So if they only got 1 creature, they have to sacrifice it. And then the second time it casts, they lose half their life. And then this third time it casts, if it does cast 3 times, they lose half their life again. So this could be very, very powerful. And then we got Entreat the Dead, XX, black, black, black. Return X creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. And then Miracles for X and black, black. So this is kind of good for the brainstorms and stuff like that, to put them back in any order. So, you can miracle this out. But even if you don't, late game, you can get quite a few good creatures back. I put this in there because with all the board wipes, there sometimes you might get rid of something you want, and this is a good way to get it back. Also, in my playtesting, there are ways to. I found there's loops. I have a loop in here where you can. I'll show you what the first creature right now, that does this is. As soon as I find him, he's probably hiding on me like a ninja, even though he's not a ninja. He's a wizard. But wizards can be tricky buggers. Anyway, Aeromancer. He's 4 mana, human wizard. He's a 1/2. When he comes into play, return instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, so what I've done in the playtesting with this is, I will wait and get this into my hand, okay, and then I'll brainstorm it back onto my library. So I will draw it and get it cheap, and then I will Aeromancer it back in the entry back into my hand, and then use another ability to repeat it. You know what I mean? So like one of the telling times or something like that, and then just repeat. And then when this dies, if you play Entreat, you get Aeromancer back and you can do it all over again. So it's pretty cool. Cool little combo. Doesn't work every time. It's very situational. But when it does work, it's pretty interesting. Alright, so our next creature, I'll be showing the non-humans. I just showed the Aeromancer first. But we have, like I said, we have a couple non-humans. This being one of them. Hold on, we've got it blurred again. Let me try to fix it. Alright, this one is 7 mana. He is a 6/5 demon ninja. Ninjutsu for 6. So if you got it unblocked, you can creature that attacks and is unblocked, you can ninjutsu him for 6. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, look at that player's hand. You can cast a non-land card in it without paying its mana cost. Pretty cool stuff. And he's a ninja. Our other creature ninja in here is Ink Eye, Servant of Oni. 6 mana for 5/4. Ninjutsu's out for 5 mana. It regenerates for 2. And then whenever Servant of Oni deals combat damage to a player, you can put target creature card from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. So, but here's the thing. If you got your commander out with these guys, so if you got your commander out with them, and they all get in there for damage, each of them get her trigger. So they will all 3 of them draw a card, and then they get their individual triggers. So he will, you can cast something off of him, and you get a creature back off of her. So it's pretty cool when you have your commander out with other ninjas, because you get the extra abilities. Alrighty, and here is the last non-human in the deck. He partners with Grom the Giant, but that is a green card, so I don't have him in here. He's a 1/1 for 3 death touch, but whenever he deals combat damage to a player, they lose half their life rounded up. This is just like that equipment but on a creature. And again, if you get him unblocked, you can deal half their damage very quickly. That's why I like him. Like I said, he's the assassin. He's an assassin. It feels very ninja-esque to me. Get in quick, hit him hard, kind of thing. All right, and the rest of these guys are all humans. So let's look and see what we got. All right, we got 3 mana for Izarath, the Awakener. I think that's how you pronounce it. She is a 3/3 for 3. She's got Death Touch, and whenever she attacks, she can pay X. When you do, return creature card with converted mana cost X from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gets corpse counter on it. If the creature would leave the battlefield, exile it instead. So yeah, it's recursion. You bring something back when she attacks each turn, but second time it dies, I gotta exile it. All right, our next one is 2 mana, Glint Sleeve Siphoner. Menace, when she enters the battlefield or attacks, you get energy. At the beginning upkeep, you can pay 2 energy. If you do draw a card, lose 1 life. But I tried to put most of my creatures in here being cheap and with some sort of evasion, like the Menace, so they can get in. Like I try to either have a Menace or Death Touch or something, but not all of them do. Some of them are just humans because I needed 33 humans. Here we go, Human Rogue, 2/2 for 2. Pay 3 life for the coin if you win, gain 6 life. So 50-50 chance you'll be gaining 3 life because you already lost. You already paid 3 into it. Alright. How do you pronounce that? Omen Speaker. 2 mana for a 1/3. When it enters the battlefield, you scry 2. Simple. There we go. 3 mana for a 2/2. Scribe the Mindful. Sacrifice Scribe the Mindful. Return target instant sorcery card from a graveyard to your hand. This also works with that cycle where I was saying the brainstorming with the Entreat the Dead. You could use this to get the Entreat back, and then you can brainstorm the Entreat back to your top of your deck, and when you play it, you'll end up getting this back anyway because it's sacrificed and it's in your graveyard now. Seagate Oracle 1/3. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one of them in your hand, the other on the bottom of your library. Simple, basic human stuff. Alright, Timeshare Navigator. It's a 1/1 for 2. It's got a sin, so you need 10 permanents to activate its ability. Tap 4, put it on the bottom of your library, and then take an extra turn. Now this works with Helm of the Host too. You can go infinite turns with it. Echo Mage, Human Wizard, level up mechanic. 3 mana. He comes in as a 2/3, and then you level him up. And each level he does something different. Pretty much he copies instant sorcery spells, and then he, at his max level, he does it twice. Now this guy's amazing. He should have been a ninja, in my opinion. 2 mana for 1/3. Creatures you control with power or toughness 1 or less can't be blocked. So all the guys in here that are 1/3s or 3/1s, they can't be blocked. So that's huge potential for ninjutsu. Also, if you put that spike equipment on one, you're getting them in for half their life. And the assassin that has it built in, he's a 1/1, so he's unblockable too. So this guy is very deadly for your other creatures. I mean, makes your other creatures very deadly, I'm sorry. 1 mana for 1/1. When he enters the battlefield, the target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. 4th Reach Prowler. Simple. Human. Most of these are commons because I needed humans that did something. This guy's he is Blood Rage Hypolite. 2 mana for a 2/1. Heroic. Whenever you cast a spell, he put a 1/1 on it. Whenever a 1/1 is placed on it, remove a 1/1 counter from target creature and opponent controls. So he gets bigger and he siphons other, your opponent's creatures down if they have 1/1 counters on them. Alright. River Prowler, Meringue. I don't know how to pronounce it. 3 mana for 2/1. He can't block and can't be blocked. When you cast, you can cast him from your graveyard as long as you control a black or green permanent. So, this having a lot of black permanents in it, he can be cast from your graveyard. It's like the guy who just won't quit. And him being cheap and can't be blocked is great for ninjutsu. Here's the other ninja I have. 4 mana for 2/2. Ninjutsu of 2. When he deals damage to a player, draw a card. Alright. We got Mystic of the Hidden Way. 5 mana. He can't be blocked. He's a morph guy for a 3/2. So he comes down. You play him for 3 colorless mana face down. And you flip him face up for 3 mana. He can't be blocked. 4 mana for 2/2 menace. When it enters the battlefield, explore. As you can see, the theme is I like them to have some sort of unblockable or something to make them harder to block. 2 mana for a 2/1. Has flying as long as it's attacking. So 2 mana for a 2/1 flying attacker isn't too bad. A lot of these are quick and cheap, so they can be played quickly on your early turns to get your commander out fast. It's very, you want to end the game quick, with damage. Granted, it's not as fast as some combo decks that just combo off and win, but for a tribal deck, I think it's pretty fast. There we go, Daring Saboteur. Pay 3, can't be blocked. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. If you do, discard a card, and he's 2/1. Here we go, 6 mana. Vela of the Nightclad. She has Intimidate. Other creatures you control gain Intimidate. Whenever Nightclad or another creature you control leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life. So that she's good when you got a full board and hit a board wipe, make them lose a lot of life. 2 mana for a 2/1 flying. When it attacks, target creature opponent player controls loses all its abilities and becomes a 0/1 until end of turn. Alright, here we go. 1/3 for Seeker of Insight. Draw a card, then discard a card. Activate this ability only if a non-creature spell casts this turn. So, sort of card draw in a way. Here we go. Sai, 3 mana for a 1/4. When an artifact spell, when you play an artifact spell, create a 1/1 Thropter with flying. Sacrifice 2 artifacts to draw a card. Now, Sai is a great card. He's not very good in this deck. I put him in here because he's human, and he's got the 1/4, so when you got the other guy that gives your guys that have 1 power, toughness, unblockable, I put that in there. Other than that, he's really not very great in this deck because it doesn't have a lot of artifacts for him to feed the synergize with. Alright. 3 mana for 1/2. Aviation Pioneer. When Aviation Pioneer enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 colorless Thropter with flying. Again, some of these I would just put in because I needed humans, Here we go. A 2/1 for 2 mana. Mystic Archaeologist. Tap 5, draw 2 cards. And this isn't a tap ability, so he can do it as many times as you got mana. Alright. Next we have 2 mana for 1/1. This is Zolaport, Cutthroat. When Zolaport, Cutthroat, or another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and gain 1 life. So it's kind of like Blood Artist abilities. Alright, here we go. I want 2 mana for 1/2 flying. Raid. When it enters the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it, if you attacked with a creature this turn. So it can become a 2/3 flying, although honestly he's better off as a 1/2 flying, because with the other guy that makes them, unblockable if their power or toughness is 1. Next we have Bloodsoaked Champion. He can't be blocked. He can't block. He's a 2/1, and then raid, 2 mana. Return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only if you attack with a creature this turn. I put him in here just as a constant, as a 1 mana drop. Try to get something in there to get Yuriko out quick. Alrighty. We got Exclusion Mage, 3 mana for 2/2. When Exclusion Mage enters the battlefield, return creature card an opponent controls to its owner's hand. So it comes in for 3 mana and it bounces something. Very good to get rid of a blocker they might have. So, you pick the guy with only a few blockers so you can get in to try to ninjutsu something out. Alright, our next one is Hand of Sulmagar. It's a 2 mana for 2/1 Death Touch. Very simple. Then we got Brawl, Chief of Compliance. 2 mana for a 1/3. Instant sorceries you cast cost 1 less colorless. Whenever a spell or ability you control counters a spell, draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Since there's no counters in this spell, that ability is useless in this deck. But the -1 colorless can help on your board wipes later on, and he's a 1/3 human. That's pretty much why he's in here. Good old Hostage Taker. 4 mana for a 2/3. When it comes into play, exile target artifact or creature until it leaves play. Until you can cast that card for as long as it remains exiled. You may spend mana as low as any color mana. So I like this card because it can come in, remove a blocker that they have, and you can also cast that blocker. Or if they have something really huge and powerful, you can come in, steal it, and you can cast it yourself. Next, we've got Magnus of the Abyss. 4 mana for 4/3. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, destroy target non-artifact creature that player controls of his or her choice. It can't be regenerated. So pretty much